Good day, greetings students. I'm very happy to meet you all again in grade 12 business studies. We are in chapter 8, controlling. Right. So far we have spoken about 4 different managerial functions, namely planning, organizing, staffing and directing. We are now discussing the 5th managerial function, which is called controlling. So what is controlling? It helps you to verify whether everything is going as per the plans. Okay, so what is the work of controlling? It ensures that everything works as per the plans. நம்ம பண்ணியிருக்கிற பிளான் பிரகாரம், நம்மளோட ஆர்கனைசேஷன் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் பிரகாரம் எல்லா ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸும் நடக்குதான்னு வெரிஃபை பண்ணுறதோட ஃபங்க்ஷன் பேர் என்ன? Controlling. Okay, and when at all there is a deviation, it gives a corrective measure. So far we have discussed about what is controlling, importance of controlling and limitations of controlling. In this session we are going to continue our controlling process. Controlling process. So what was the first step in controlling process? Controlling process la first step enna, that you need to set performance standards. Setting performance standards, right? What you have to do, you need to set performance standards. அது என்னவா இருக்கலாம்? It can be quantitative terms or qualitative terms. நம்ம செட் பண்ற ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கலாம்? It can be quantitative or qualitative. Giving quantitative terms for qualitative items will really be helpful. So qualitative nu nama solra vishayangalukku, when we set a quantitative term, it is easy to measure. So when you want to talk about the height and the weight, you have quantitative terms to compare it. So you can set a standard. We have seen in theme parks that if you want to go for a particular ride, you need to be of a certain height, right? So that can be a set as a standard. Other way, qualitative terms, talking about if you want to go in the particular ride, you should not be tensed, you should not be sick. ஒரு சில விஷயங்கள் சொல்கிறோம் இல்லையா, those are qualitative terms. எப்படி நீங்கள் கண்டுபிடிப்பீங்க that whether you are stressed or whether you are tensed? அதுக்கும் சில quantitative terms you can give, like checking your blood pressure or pulse rate, so that they'll identify about it. How healthy you are, it's a qualitative term da, right? How healthy you are, it's a qualitative term. For that you can verify quantitative terms also, like what? When you go to a hospital for a checkup, they'll check your sugar, your pulse rate, your hemoglobin. Okay, all these are checked இல்லையா? So அதெல்லாம் quantitative terms. For what? For measuring qualitative terms. Right children, your improvement, how they measure all these things. Okay, handwriting, for example, handwriting is entirely a qualitative term. Whether you have improved your handwriting or not, how do they judge it? They have some quantitative terms for it. So size of the letter, shape of the letter, the curves, the loops, the formation, இந்த மாதிரி சில quantitative terms use பண்ணி நம்மளால verify பண்ண முடியும். Alright, the second step is measurement of actual performance. What is the second step? Measurement of actual performance. The first step is setting performance standard. Performance standard set பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா the second step is to measure the actual performance. So there is a thing like after the performance is over, after the process is complete only you can measure னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். ஒரு வேலை முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறமா தான் அது சரியா பண்ணிருக்காங்களா இல்லையான்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. For example, you are writing a test. Only after you finish the test I can actually give you the marks, right? But here when you are writing your test, நீங்க இங்க எழுதி இருக்கிறப்பவே you can verify whether you have attended all the questions. We tell you, check whether you have attended all the questions, check whether you have completed everything. So ஒரு டெஸ்ட் முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறமா நீங்க எல்லாத்தையும் வெரிஃபை பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா டெஸ்ட் எழுதிட்டு இருக்கப்பவே when you finish one Roman you can verify whether you have finished that particular Roman properly. So measurement of actual performance can be done at the end or during the performance. During the process itself it can be verified. In between also it can be verified. Okay, it cannot be always at the last. Okay, in between also it should be verified. So ஒரு company எடுக்கிறப்போ when you talk about an organization process and an organization activity நம்ம பார்க்குறப்போ it will be beneficial when you give the correction as and when it is done. So எல்லா process முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறமா instead of saying that it is wrong, if you can correct it in between and say there is some correction, it will be a far better thing னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். So how can you measure it? You can measure this actual performance through sample checking. What is sample checking? In big organizations you cannot check each and every product. So இப்போ அம்மா தோசை சுடுறாங்க அப்படின்னா எல்லா தோசையும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கான்னு நாங்கள் வெரிஃபை பண்ணலாம். You can verify whether first in the beginning they'll check about the salt, right? They cannot check for each and every dosa. That's a sample checking. And again you are checking about, you have made 7 dishes means mother can check all 7 dishes. Okay, you can check the taste of all 7 dishes. But in case of a restaurant where many dishes are made, can the owner check all the dishes? No, he cannot check every plate. He goes on a random checking. Okay, so when you are at home, when you are eating with your family, you can check that whether everybody is eating everything. எல்லார் பிளேட்லையும் வெஜிடபிள்ஸ் இருக்கா, எல்லாருமே கர்ட் போட்டுக்கிட்டாங்களா, எல்லாருக்கும் இந்த பர்டிகுலர் டெசர்ட் கிடச்சிதான் நம்மளால் செக் பண்ண முடியும். Because the population is less. But when you talk about a big function at your home, when you have a function at your home, how do you check it? Can you check each and every plate? No, randomly on the side porappo, just like that, if 100 people are eating, you can check hardly like 10 people whether they have got everything, right? So that happens in a big organization also. ஒரு பெரிய ஆர்கனைசேஷனுக்கு எல்லா ப்ராடக்ட்ஸையும் அவங்களால வெரிஃபை பண்ண முடியாது. Take for example a small workshop. Okay, they have some 10 cycles or something. They can check each cycle every day. எல்லாமே கரெக்டாக இருக்கா, they can check the air, whether it is punctured or what, everything they can check. But imagine a cycle industry. They have hundreds and hundreds, thousands of cycles to be made every day, to be assembled every day. அந்த கண்டிஷனில் they cannot check all these thousands cycles. Okay, so they go for a random checking, which is called as sample checking. All right, and then you can do it through personal observation. You can do it through personal observation. So as you go for rounds, you verify whether the activity is being done as per the standard. Neenga financial manager, okay, you want to check your accountant's work. You are summarizing it for the tax purpose kaga ellathiyum neenga vandu segregate panni vekkringa. That time, instead of completing it at the end, you just go to his table and verify what he is doing. Pandrathu correct ah pannittu irukangala, because it's a long process. Being accountancy students, you know it, it's a long process. So journal mudichudha ledger abdingrappo, don't wait for the balance sheet to come. You will verify the journal once it is over. Then once the ledger is over, you will verify it. You have a thing called trial balance, and then you will go to balance sheet, right? So personal observation can be done, and performance reports can be given. So about each employee, when their performance is analyzed, this performance can be measured also. Alright children, so these are the methods in which you can measure the actual performance. Now we are going for the third step. These two steps we have discussed in the previous session. We are moving on now to the third step, which is comparing actual performance with standards. So what is going to be your third step? Comparing actual performance with standards. So what happens here is, you already have a set standard. Okay, நம்ம ஒரு ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் செட் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கோம். ஆக்சுவல் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸோட மெஷர்மெண்ட்டும் நமக்கு கிடச்சிருச்சு. Now what you are going to do, you are going to actually compare this and that. Compare the actual performance and the set standards. For what? To find the deviations. Okay, for what you are doing this? To find deviations and to take corrective actions. So why is this step done? To find deviations and to take corrective actions. Right children? So edukkaga nam in the third step pandrom? Why do we compare the actual performance with standards? Just to find if there are any deviations at all. நம்ம செட் பண்ணியிருக்கிற ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்லேருந்து ஆக்சுவல் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்குன்னா என்ன அளவுக்கு சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்குது, அண்ட் ஹவு யூ கேன் டூ இட் இன் த கரெக்டிவ் திங்ஸ். ஓகே, அது எதனால தான் பண்ண முடியும்? யூ கேன் டூ இட் ஓன்லி பை கம்பேரிங் இட். Taking corrective action also in the next step. It is a separate step. But still, you need to find this deviations first of all. And why do you need to find deviations? To take corrective actions. So comparison எப்போ ஈஸியாக இருக்கும்? when it is in quantitative terms. So 100 units produce பண்ண சொன்னோம், 50 தான் produce பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க means the comparison becomes easy. But when you talk about qualitative terms like job satisfaction, or when you talk about quality of the product, you can compare it, but it will be very very difficult to compare. Quality வந்து இப்படி இருக்கணும், that is touch and feel தான், right? Can you verify all the products like that? It's going to be very difficult. So quality க்கு ஒரு ஸ்டாண்டர்டையும் நம்ம ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணோம். that should be in quantitative term. Right children? So quantitative term will be very very easy to compare. So comparison of quantitative terms is easier heavier than that of the qualitative terms. The next step, step 4 is analyzing deviations. So we saw that we have to find the deviations. Compare பண்றது மூலமா நமக்கு என்ன தெரியும்? That where are the deviations? Deviations இருக்கான்னு முதல்ல நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம். The next thing is analyzing deviations. What is the difference between finding deviations and analyzing deviations? What is the difference between both? Finding deviations kum analyzing deviations kum irukra difference enna appadina, finding is you knowing that there is a deviation. Analyzing deviations appadina, how far has there been a change? Okay, finding that okay, your set standard is 1000 units of production, your actual performance is 800 units. Okay, 800 units of production. Comparing your actual performances, finding this comparison, 1000 க்கு 800 produce பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு compare பண்றது. Analyzing your deviation is this 1000 minus 800 is analyzing deviations. எந்த அளவுக்கு activity differ ஆயிருக்கு, நம்ம செட் பண்ண ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ல இருந்து நம்மளோட ஒரிஜினல் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ், ஆக்சுவல் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் எந்த அளவுக்கு டீவியேட் ஆயிருக்குன்னு நம்ம பார்க்குறது தான் அனலைசிங் டீவியேஷன் நம்ம சொல்கிறோம். Alright children, so some deviation in performance can be expected in all activities. Nothing can go as planned. 8 o'clock bus பிடிக்கணும்னு நினச்சா, that's my thing. I want to reach the bus stop or bus stand by 8 o'clock. But something might happen. Right, some traffic jam or some other reasons might happen where instead of 8 I come by 8:02. Appa deviation in 2 minutes. Okay, so some activities will have deviations. Now we need to determine whether it is an acceptable range of deviation. So ipo na 8 o'clock stop la irukano appadina I come by 8:02. Bus didn't leave. ஒரு 2 minutes தள்ளி வந்தாலும் பஸ் வில் வெயிட் ஃபார் மீ. ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ்க்குள்ளே நான் வந்துட்டேன் அப்படின்னா பஸ் எனக்காக வெயிட் பண்ணுங்கிறப்போ they will wait for 5 minutes இருக்கு இல்லையா, that is that acceptable time of deviations. Okay, so you have to determine acceptable range of deviation. What you have to do? You have to determine the acceptable range of deviation. So instead of 5 minutes எனக்காக டிரைவர் வெயிட் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படிங்கிறப்போ that is your acceptable range of deviation. More than that is not accepted. Then you have to go for a corrective action. ஏன்னா எல்லா டீவியேஷனுக்கும் நம்மளால் கரெக்டிவ் ஆக்ஷன் எடுக்க முடியாது. இட்ஸ் நாட் தட் எவ்ரி டைம். வி நோ டீவியேஷன்ஸ் ஆர் பாசிபிள் அண்ட் யூ cannot avoid deviationsன்னு தெரியும். ஸோ யூ cannot take corrective action for every deviation. So you set an acceptable range. Within this limit, if there is a change, fine. அதை தாண்டி இருந்தால் I have to go for a corrective action நம்ம நினைக்கிறோம். Okay, an employee should work for 8 hours. Okay, so if he works 7.5 hours then it is accepted, or half an hour, fine, we can excuse. half an hour தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணுவேன், 7 hours ஒர்க் பண்ண மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னா இட்ஸ் நாட் acceptable. Okay, even in your exam halls 3 hours you have to write exam means if you finish your exam within 2.5 hours then fine. You have finished your exam within 1 hour means the examiner will think, I theriyalaya, they don't know the answer, that's why they finish so soon. They don't allow you to come out, right? Before a half an hour they may allow you to come out, okay, but within the first half an hour if you want to walk out of the exam hall, it won't be allowed. So the acceptable range of deviation should be fixed, okay, and you need to know whether deviations are allowed in certain areas. The deviations in key areas of business need to be attended more urgently as compared to deviations in certain significant areas. அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம சில techniques யூஸ் பண்ண போகிறோம். So we have some techniques to analyze the key areas. Deviations acceptable range ன்னு சொல்கிறோம் இல்லையா. How do you fix that acceptable range means through two techniques. First thing is your critical point control. Critical point it's called critical point control. What is critical point control? This is neither economic nor easy to keep a check on each and everything. எல்லா ஏரியாலையுமே நம்ம செக் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருப்போம் அப்படின்னா இட்ஸ் நாட் பாசிபிள். So the organization should find the key result areas. So what you have to do? Find key result areas which are called as KRAs. So focus will be here. Control will be focused on key result areas. So the control is focused on the key result areas because you cannot imagine verifying everywhere, okay. சில இடங்கள் has to be looked after very carefully than the others. So quality compromise பண்ணவே மாட்டோம். We have to give only qualitative products அப்படிங்கிறப்போ your key result area will be the production department rather than the sales department, okay. Where you need to concentrate, the sales is going on well but base is production. Goods நல்லா இருந்தா கண்டிப்பாக சேல்ஸ் ஈஸிங்கிறப்போ your key result area will be production. But goods are produced very well. Goods qualitative-ஆக தான் இருக்குது. But the sales team is not taking enough initiative. அங்கே தான் மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் நடக்குதுங்கிறப்போ you need to change your key result area to sales. Okay, so you need to check on that which are critical to the success. These key result areas are critical to success. So if anything goes wrong at these points, everything goes wrong, okay. So இப்போ நமக்கு தெரியும் quality controller is very very important because we are focusing on the quality. குவாலிட்டியில் நம்ம நிறைய ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ண போகிறோங்கிறப்ப quality controller முக்கியம், okay. So the control lies there. Usually CCTV cameras is placed for control இல்லையா. Where do they place it in an organization? They might place it importantly near the entrance because they want to know who comes into the organization. Then near their treasury where they keep their money, அங்க வைக்கலாம். Then commonly focusing towards the people who are working. Generally ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் தனியாக வச்சுருக்க மாட்டாங்க. பட் why separately in entrance? Because we need to know who comes in and who goes out. வேர்ஹவுஸில் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் இருக்கிற இடத்துல ஒரு கேமரா இருக்கும் to know that no unknown or unauthorized person is allowed inside. They have that access code இல்லையா. So only few people can reach into that area under access code இருக்கும், okay. That is called as the critical point control. And then we have an example in manufacturing organization. An increase of 5% in the labor cost may be more troublesome than 15% increase in postal charges. So இப்போ எங்க importance labor cost or postal charges? Of course labor cost, because posting letters we do very rarely, right? So you have to think about the electricity bill rather than other postal bills, right? Because which is used electricity bills da romba use pannuvom. So we are very careful about these things. எங்க அதிகமாக கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ணுவோம்? ஸோ இஃப் தெர் இஸ் அ டேபிள், இஃப் தெர் இஸ் அ ரூம், will you concentrate more on the bureau or will you concentrate things that are on the table? So on the table நம்ம வைக்கிறதே வந்து unimportant things. Inside the bureau or inside the cupboard we keep important things. So we will be careful or we will be particular about that, right? That is a critical point control technique. The next technique is called as management by exception. Management by exception. What is that management by exception? Here we said that we needed to determine acceptable range of deviation. Or acceptable range of deviation எதுக்காக நம்ம ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணுறோம்? It is not that everything should be taken very seriously. எல்லா விஷயத்தையுமே நம்ம சீரியஸாக எடுத்துக்கணுன்றது இல்லை. You need to go give its importance in the right way. So you remember the story of the boy who cried wolf? What was the story? Every time the boy wanted to cheat others, so he cried wolf, and the original time when there was a wolf and he cried wolf, nobody believed it. So when we when we concentrate on unwanted things a lot, we will miss the concentration on important things ன்னு நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். So it is important to make an attempt to control in the right way. An attempt to control everything results in controlling nothing. எல்லாத்தையும் நான் என்னோட கண்ட்ரோல் தான் வச்சுருக்கணுங்கிறப்ப nothing will happen, right? So only significant deviations which go beyond the permissible limit should be brought to the notice of management. Only deviations which go above the permissible limit should be brought to the management. For example, as students, so there might be reasons that you take leave. நம்ம லீவ் எடுக்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இருக்கலாம். So there will be a limit like 2 days, 3 days, fine. 2 daysக்கு மேலே போச்சுன்னா we need to inform it to our higher authorities, right? First day இன்னைக்கு லீவ் போட்ட உடனே அங்கே போய் சொல்கிறதுல there is no purpose at all. I can handle it as a class teacher, as a teacher. Only when there is a situation that I can't handle it, more than 4 days ஆயிடுச்சு, I need to know அப்படிங்கிறப்போ I go and take it to the next level of authorities. அதான் நம்ம சொல்கிறோம். So there will be an acceptable range of deviation. Only things which go above the permissible limit should be intimated. So 1000 units produce பண்ண வேண்டிய இடத்துல when you produce 950 is acceptable range அப்படின்னா it's fine. Whoever is producing less than 900 or 950 can be notified. 950 மேலே ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, because of some other reasons they could not do. Just for that 25 units, if you call someone and punish them, they'll lose their heart. ரொம்ப டீவியேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கிறப்ப மட்டும்தான் அதை நம்ம சீரியஸாக கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் பை எக்ஸெப்ஷன்? You should not control anything and everything. you should control whichever deviates more than the permissible limit. Okay, so you have an example. So plans lay down 2% increase in labor cost as an acceptable change. More than 2% change comes only, it should be intimated to the higher level of management. So these deviations, so coming back to analyzing deviations, before that we will get to know the advantages of these two. Critical point control and management by exception oda advantage ennu paathona, it saves time and effort. What are the advantages? Saves time and effort. ஏன் அப்படின்னா you can concentrate only on the key result areas. சின்ன சின்ன விஷயத்தில் நம்ம கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ண வேண்டாம். And you don't have to look every deviation. Okay, the deviation which goes above the permissible limit alone can be looked into. So definitely the time and effort of the manager is saved, and it focuses managerial attention on important areas, on needed areas rather than in all the areas. In important areas, and then the routine problems are left to the subordinates. It's not that everything should go to the top management. Everything can be handled by the subordinates. So avangalukku or problem solving technique theriyum. Okay, and it identifies critical problems which need and puts back the organization in the right track. So namakku deviations theriyarudhu moolyama ennagu, you can correct it, okay, to the necessary point. That is why we say that these two techniques are really useful for any manager. Right children? So why do we need to analyze deviations? இப்போ எதுக்காக நம்ம deviations analyze பண்ணோன்னு பார்க்குறோம்? Because it helps you to find how much it has been deviated. எவ்வளோ தூரம் deviate ஆயிருக்கும், அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி நம்ம corrective action எடுக்கலாம். So we have seen that 1000 minus 800, 200 தான் மிஸ் ஆகுது. ஸோ அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி நம்ம லேபர்ஸை வர சொல்லி you can finish the problem. But if the deviation is so much, you have to take a big corrective action. That is why analyzing the deviations plays a very, very important role in the controlling process. Okay, the deviations need to be analyzed for their causes, from where there is a change. Okay, it has to be analyzed very, very importantly. என்ன அதோட காஸ், எங்கே இருந்து இந்த டீவியேஷன் நமக்கு வந்திருக்கு. ஸோ அனலைஸ் the cause of deviation. Okay, you need to analyze the cause of deviation, from where you have faced a deviation. Okay, and then it is necessary to identify the exact cause. enga thappa poirukku. If some employee produces goods which are not of quality, okay, a tailor, we'll take a tailoring unit, எல்லாரோட கூட்ஸுமே நல்லா தான் இருக்குது, all their production, all their shirts are perfect except one particular employees. So you cannot simply blame that employee, right? அவங்க தான் சரியாக ஒர்க் பண்ணலன்னு நமக்கு தெரியாது. You need to verify if there is some defect in the machine itself. அவங்களோட sewing machineல ஏதாவது மிஸ்டேக் இருக்கான்னு நமக்கு தெரியணும். Whether the timing given is not good, whether he or she needs some particular training. So you need to analyze the cause of deviation, and for which corrective action is needed. Okay, failing which an appropriate corrective action is not needed. So அங்கே என்ன மிஸ்டேக்னே தெரியல, யூ டோன்ட் நோ வாட் இஸ் த காஸ் ஆஃப் இட். யூ நோ தட் பர்டிகுலர் டெய்லர் இஸ் நாட் ஸ்டிச்சிங் இனஃப், அவங்களோட குவாலிட்டி சரியில்லை, குவான்டிட்டியும் பத்தலைங்கிறப்போ யூ நீட் டு நோ இட். இஃப் தேர் இஸ் அ ப்ராப்ளம் வித் த sewing machine, then you can change it. If there is a problem with the training of the personnel, then you can train the person. If there is a problem with the employee himself or herself, you can change the employee. So you need to know the deviation to find the corrective action. Okay, the deviations and their corrections are then reported and corrective action taken at appropriate level. Now this last step, step 5, is taking corrective action. The final step in the controlling process is taking corrective action. So என்ன பண்ண போகிறோம்? We know the deviations, we know the causes of deviations. The next thing is you need to take corrective action. First point you should know is no corrective actions are required for the deviations that are within the limit, that are within the limit. If it crosses the given limit only, you have to go for taking a corrective action. So corrective action should be based on what? Should be based on the cause. Should be based on the cause of deviation. அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம cause analyze பண்ணுறோம். So only when you know the cause of the deviation, you can take the corrective action. Okay, might involve training of employees if the production target could not be met. Same example that I have given. So cause என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுட்டு அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரியான corrective actions நம்ம கொடுக்கணும். In case the deviation cannot be corrected at all, the standards may have to be revised. Do you remember the first point, setting standards? It should be flexible no vishayam paathoma, that the performance standards should be flexible to be changed at a later date. This is the step. If the deviations couldn't be corrected, if the deviations couldn't be corrected, then the standards must be revised. Okay, so if there are deviations, you should try to take corrective actions. ஆனால் கரெக்டிவ் ஆக்ஷன்ஸால் அதை சரி பண்ண முடியலைங்கிறப்போ வாட் யூ ஹாவ் டு டூ? யூ ஹாவ் டு மேக் சேஞ்சஸ் இன் யோர் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸ் தட் யூ ஹாவ் செட் as the performance standards. All right, so what are the steps in the controlling process, children? First step is to set performance standards. It can be quantitative or qualitative. The next step is to measure the actual performance. You can do it by sample checking, personal observation and performance report. The third step is to compare the standards and the actual performance, so to find if there are any deviations. Fourth step is to analyze the deviation, how far they have deviated. You have techniques like critical point control and management by exception. For what? எதுக்காக இது? to concentrate the management's attention on important areas, key areas, rather than concentrating in every single area. Okay, and you can fix an acceptable range of deviation. Whichever deviation crosses this range can be taken to the management's notice, not every deviation. The last step is taking corrective action. So when there is a change, you find the cause of the change. அந்த டீவியேஷனோட காசை கண்டுபிடிச்சு அதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி நம்ம என்ன கொடுக்கணும், கரெக்டிவ் ஆக்ஷன் நம்ம கொடுக்கணும். ஓகே சில்ட்ரன், ஸோ இஃப் அட் ஆல் there is no possibility of correcting the deviation, then you have to revise the standards you have set. அந்த டீவியேஷனை நம்மளோட கரெக்டிவ் ஆக்ஷனால் கரெக்ட் பண்ண முடியாதுங்கிற சுச்சுவேஷனை நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும், you have to change, you have to revise the standards themselves. Alright children, so that is all about the controlling process. There is a small box that gives you the examples of corrective action. I want you to just go through it, and you can come with some other 5 causes of deviation. You can imagine and find some 5 causes of deviation and give a corrective action to be taken. I hope you have understood the controlling process. If at all you have any doubts, feel free to reach me out. In the next session, we will be discussing about the techniques for managerial control. So traditional techniques and modern techniques. Till then, I want you to go through whatever we have discussed and make sure you have understood everything, or else get your doubts clarified and answer the worksheets appropriately. Thank you, and may you all have a wonderful day, children.